back to Dubsy Bricks for another episode of building Gotham City in Lego. In the last update, we worked on this docks area here, raised it up by several bricks, got the front all done, started on the platform area that goes out. A few people commented last week on the platform with ideas of how that should look. Rest assured, that's not the finished article, nor is the front. There's going to be a lot more details put into this build. And with the platform that's coming out there, I'm going to do it so it's more like wooden planks coming out, and there's going to be holes in it, so it looks really worn down. Now, what I want to be doing this update, if I can, is work on the raised platform area just here, so I can find the permanent home for the Ace chemical plant. Going to amend this base plate here as well, as we no longer need the loading bays for the warehouses, as it's going to be the road going onto there, and the deliveries and collections will be from the front of the warehouses as opposed to the rear. So I might even sort of like fill the gaps in on the back of those buildings. But one thing I do want to work on is prototyping the raised road that's going to be going there. Need to work out exactly how high it's going to be so that I can have vehicles travelling underneath it on the road below. So yes, that's another thing. So we've got lots that I can crack on with in this update, and yeah, it's going to be a fun one. One other thing I'd like to say, thank you to everybody who keeps leaving all the comments and ideas, suggestions in the video. It is really appreciated. It really is helping with the development of Gotham City. There are so many things I hadn't even thought of that people suggest. So I really do appreciate all of the comments and the views and the likes that come along with it. And here is the prototype for the raised road supports. And I put some inverted slopes on the back. And what I'll be doing is putting a brick going from one side to the other to connect them up. That's going to help with taking the weight of the road to make it nice and sturdy, supportive, but also hopefully it'll make the pillars stronger as well. Now, originally I did brick this all the way up. However, it just didn't have the look I was looking for. So I thought if I use these arches, that will give it a little bit more detail, and I quite like having the slope on the inside as well. Now, the reason I've gone for two-tone on here is because I only had those arches in the dark bluish grey. Also put the dark bluish grey around the bottom, as the pavement's going to be light bluish grey, and I always feel like it just blends in too much if you've got the light bluish grey bricks straight onto the tiles. So it's always nice to have a colour on the breaking up basically. So now I've built about a dozen of these. What I'm going to do, I'm going to work on the raised platform area in the docks area, get that all finished off the support structural side. Then I'll move these in so I can look at getting that road connected to the docks area. And there's been a lot more progress here in the docks area with the support structure for the actual docks and buildings that are going on here. Now, the part over here where the Ace chemical is going to be, I brought it forward quite a bit, and this is a couple of plates lower than the bit at the back. And the idea is I'm going to have the road coming in, and I want it so the road is flush with this, and it's going to be using the snot technique. And by lowering that by 2 bricks, I can just rest the bricks on here, and then when I tile this platform, the road is the same height. It's nice, it's all smooth. So what I will do is, once I've worked out where the buildings are actually going in the docks area, I'll remove the plates on the top here and leave a groove, and then just build a snot road going in on top of it. And then again, as I said, I'll just tile all around it, and you'll have a nice flush surface. On the front here, I will continue with doing probably a very similar technique as I did before, using some tiles and whatever else just to give it that run down feel. But yeah, I will need to work out how I'm going to transition the road down, as at the moment I've got the support pillars at this height, and they're about 3 bricks higher than this platform. However, I do need to make sure that the pillars are quite high, so if there are any trucks going down on the lower road, then they will still be able to get underneath there basically. So I just need to work out how I'm going to do that part. On the side of the platform here, there is a cut section out of here, and that's where I'm going to be doing the chemical spill down the bottom. It would have been nice to have done a full swamp, however, I just don't think it's going to work. I don't think it's going to be possible, but I will still put a spill down there, and I might just put a little Easter egg of Solomon Grundy down there, if I can get a figure that looks like it. And yeah, and then I'll have rock work coming up on this side leading up to Arkham Asylum. So yeah, it's really starting to take shape now, and it's a lot easier to move the buildings around and visualize everything now that I've got the platform pretty much how I want to have it. Now, as I mentioned before, You've got the lower road coming in here, that's going to come round and then lead to the fun house. So I can continue to build up the Mills plate just here, ready for the structures to go on and tiling and whatnot. But what I will be doing is putting an archway here, brick walls going around here so the cars come around, and I'm going to put some graffiti on the walls, and then it'll be obviously covered over with the road that's going on the top. I thought it'd be quite nice to have things like the Riddler's question mark painted onto the wall, and just another couple of bits of graffiti on there. So just need to see what tiles and bricks I can find out that are nice and bright to give it that real rundown feel that you would expect to see in this part of Gotham. And here we have the section which is going to connect the raised road to the docks area. With the walls, try to put a bit of detail in there just so it doesn't look like a plain, boring wall. And I just need to put some tiles over the headlight bricks along there. I'm really pleased with how the question mark for the Riddler has come out inside here. The graffiti on the wall, I think it looks really good. Now this section here, the channel of water, again I wanted to put a bit of an angle on the wall there so it's not everything, it's not square like a grid. So I've just used a couple of the 2x1 plates in here which got the rounded edges and the cylinders, and that's enabled that to go off at that nice angle. And this is the same as the angle as a 4x2 wedge plate, so they're actually underneath the tiles there. So I've put the plate and the tile there just to cover over any gaps on there. And the same on the wall here. I put a couple of snot bricks, then a plate and a tile just so there's minimal gaps showing. Not sure what I'm going to be doing on this side just yet. And with the water, again, I need to work out what colour this is all going to be. So this is something I really do need to work on, as I want this to get murkier and dirtier as you come around, getting close to the spillage from Ace Chemicals. Now with this build, there may need some amendments made to it. Now I built this so it's the same height as the docks. So the road will rest on here and then that will go onto the docks area. However, the clearance for the road to the top here, there isn't a great deal there. It's probably 2 bricks. Now, if I wanted to have a truck come around here, it'd probably bash onto this. So I just need to decide whether or not I want to raise this up. If I raise this up, it means I've got to raise the entire docks up. So whether it's only by 2 bricks or 3 bricks, if I'm going to do it, now is the time to do it before I start doing any tiling or anything else on the docks area. So let's just take this over to the mock table and see how it looks. And here is the build all in place. And another thing as well is I'm wondering whether or not that would have been better off right up against there. I could just put a wall in here and possibly put another building or something like that. However, preferably I would have it a little bit further back. Now, the only reason I've done it like this is I wanted to build on a base plate. I didn't want to span over two. And obviously, if I put it hard up against there, then I will be on the next base plate. And the only other way I can get around this is if I make this entire structure modular. So it just clips in place onto some jumper plates or just a couple of studs here and there, which is doable. It's not a massive deal. And again, it won't take much to do. I can just peel it off of the base plate and then put it back down afterwards. So that is something I am going to consider doing. But again, as mentioned, where do I raise all of this up by a couple of bricks? I think it might look a little bit better. And as I said, all I do, peel the art plates off, just do a couple more rows of bricks around the edges, a couple more bricks on each of the pillars, place the art plates back down, job done. So if I just put this pillar just over here, just to help with the propping it up, and here is a section of road. So if I leave the docks as it is at the moment, that's what the road section will look like. And I do quite like having an angle coming down to the docks. However, it's just the clearance level underneath there. So do I leave it as it is, or do I raise it up a bit? So to be honest, there's not really going to be any need for trucks to go under here, because it's just going to be the Joker's fun house in here. So I think I could possibly get away with just leaving it like that if I wanted to. So yeah, just need to have a think about it, and then once I made my mind up, make the necessary amendments if they need to be made. But yeah, really happy with what we managed to get done in this update. It's so nice getting bits like this all done to hide away filler brick and filler plate, and to see the blockwork coming together. And I really can't wait to get the rest of that all finished off, so I can then start tiling off this and start working out exactly where each of the buildings is going to go. Anyway, that's all we've got time for in this update. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have, please remember to give us a big thumbs up. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content on the channel. And if you know anybody else you think would be interested in building Gotham in Lego, if you could share the channel with them, it'd be much appreciated. Anyway, thanks for popping by, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.